Minecraft. What a simplistic game that's captured the hearts of millions. And for good reason, too. I mean, it's just simply a fun game with many ideas, and all the ideas are made by you. Now, not many people look at this game and think, oh, it's really a complex game, because it really isn't, to be honest. There's not many mysteries about it. I think the biggest mystery in the game may have been done by game theory, and that was what is a creeper. But today we're going to be dwelling into a mystery that's pretty big in itself. Who Steve is, what are his origins, where did he come from, and why can he break trees with his hands? Anyways, guys, I'm Hockey506, and welcome to a Minecraft theory. Now, not many people would think about the game in this great detail, and I can understand if you don't want to. If you don't want me to think about the game in great detail, then I'd recommend closing this video down right now. However, I'm going to go into great detail on the origins of Steve. Now, if you play the game normally through and beat the Ender Dragon, you'll be presented with the ending text. Now, that ending text has been interpreted to mean that Minecraft is a metaphor for life. If the player gets knocked down, he keeps going and going and going, and that player is represented through Steve. But now let's assume that Steve is simply a guy. There's nobody controlling him, and this is a real-life scenario. I know this is getting a bit in-depth, but seriously, to make this video, I need to get in-depth. Now, most people will just look at it and be like, well, it's probably just an apocalypse situation where everybody else has been wiped out, and he's left with the bare minimum. However, what kind of situation would cause this? On a planet about the size of Neptune, it's roughly estimated, although it is technically infinite, what kind of natural disaster would wipe out all the other humans on Earth, except for the testificates, and create zombies and skeletons that come to life in the dead of night? Also, why? That doesn't explain how Steve simply knows how to build and craft things. If you're looking at this from a player's perspective, it's like you know. But if you're looking at it from Steve's perspective, sorry, keep messing that up. Steve's perspective, it's like, how does he know? If you weren't controlling him, how does he know how to do that? So we have to imagine that, I'm sure many of you have, we have to imagine that we are Steve. So, imagine you find yourself in a strange new world, and yet you somehow know what to do. Normally, in new scenarios, nobody knows what to do. It's all just sort of guess and blind chance. However, Steve just instantly knows that he needs to punch a tree, get wood, and start digging. Now, there are many theories to this, and I already covered one, and the main one I'm going to cover is going to come up last. However, one theory is that Steve is in a coma, and this is all just a dream, where everything goes his way, unless, of course, the creepers get to him. But that is a less popular theory, because it's less interesting. It's sort of the go-to for every single game, like Pokemon and everything else. However, the theory that I'm going to be mainly covering, which I think I'm going to start now, because I can't remember any other theories, and there are not many really popular ones. The theory I'm going to be covering actually was brought to my attention by a Tumblr blog named Minecraft Funnies. I'll leave a link to them down in the description, because honestly, they're actually pretty funny, and they post some really good stuff sometimes. Well, a lot of the time. I don't mean to insult them. And the theory that they were covering is that Steve is actually a demigod. Now, what this theory entailed is that Steve was sent to this planet by his parents, who were being under attack. No, he was sent to the planet because he was under attack from some ancient demon of darkness. Now, this demon of darkness supposedly spawned all the mobs onto this planet that are set there to hunt and kill Steve, and they are supposedly hidden all throughout the galaxy. However, I'm going to expand upon this theory a bit more in a way that makes it more, I guess, interesting to me. What I like to believe is Steve is actually a demigod, son of the god of the universe. Or, not the god of a universe, but an immortal being that lives somewhere in the universe. We first, for purposes that would make it easier to me, we're going to call this Notch. So, imagine Notch and someone had a child named Steve, and they named it Steve. Because, of course, Steve is technically a joke name given to the main character by Notch, hence why there's a question mark usually after his name. Anyways, they give birth to a child named Steve. And meanwhile, in some far-off corner of the galaxy, the universe that Minecraft is contained in, they're living in this sparkling utopia, and everything's fine, everything's great, until one day, darkness comes along. And I don't know how to describe the villain, so I'm just going to say darkness to give you the image of like some big baddie that just wants to ruin everything. Knowing that his kingdom is in peril, Notch and his wife send Steve out into the universe. Now, Steve, I'd go with Steve's age as anywhere from 18 and above, but no older than 30. Why? I don't know. This is just a guesstimate to get something into my head, because he's obviously not a child, but he's not that old either. So, we're going to say anywhere in between 18 and 30. Now, Steve was sent off into the universe, and and knowing that he was still alive, Darkness sent out minions to find him. Those minions are represented by zombies, skeletons, spiders, creepers, and all the other various mobs that can be found in Minecraft. And the reason Steve knows what to do is because he is a demigod, and his father taught him everything. That's why, when you first spawn in, you're actually crashing into the world. Now, no, this is just a theory. This isn't what actually happens. That's why, when Steve first crashes into Minecraft, or Minecraftia, whatever you want to call the planet, he knows exactly what to do. He knows he has to survive. He knows that he has to defeat the darkness somehow. But the darkness didn't make it easy for him. He left behind the Ender Dragon, and the Wither, I'm going to say, was already here, because he would have, if this theory did work like I wished it would, then the Wither would just be spawned in instantly, and you'd have to go find it like you found the dragon. So the way I see it, the Wither skeletons are already here. I don't think they ever touched the Nether, and the pigmen obviously already existed. But in the overworld, he wreaks havoc and sends the Ender Dragon. Now, another thing is, how does Steve know where the Ender Dragon is, and how does he just know how to find him? That goes back to being a demigod. There are probably legends told by his father of the dragon, and perhaps the darkness is an old returning foe that retook his planet. So, for all we know, Steve could be a demigod. Steve could just be some normal guy, or could be way overthinking this. It's a metaphor for life, after all, technically. In a way of, like, you get knocked down and you get back up. However, I prefer to use the whole demigod theory. It makes Minecraft a lot cooler in a sense, because, you know, it's survival, and not many people play it anymore compared to the numbers that used to, because, I don't know, with all the updates, it's been more multiplayer based, honestly. And then that brings me to another thing, creative mode. Now, this is still following along with the demigod theory. The demigod theory is that once he beats the darkness, or sometimes you play in creative mode, or when you play in creative mode, it's the world without darkness. Steve has beaten the darkness and reclaimed everything, and he's been able to fully become a god. How? I don't know, probably by proving himself. That's the theory. That'd be the theory for creative mode, like, he had to prove himself to become a god, and he did. Also, being a demigod explains why Steve is still mortal and can be killed. Peaceful is also another solution, because there's sort of two paths to the whole demigod thing. One where he can become immortal, and one where he doesn't. The one where he doesn't is ending up in peaceful mode, where you simply go around. The one where you do become a god is when you play in creative mode. Now, I know this seems a bit out there, but honestly it makes sense if you look at it from like a logical standpoint. And it's one of the easiest ways to explain it, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any other theories, or would like to recommend any other theories to me, do so down in the comments below. Also, leave a like if this made you think about it a little. And guys, I just want to talk to you really quick. This is something new that I've been thinking of doing for a while. I also want to start doing, like, I don't know, new, different kind of videos. Like, I want to start doing, like, top 10 lists, game reviews. Because, I don't know, I want to expand on for Minecraft, because I love the game, trust me, I do. But I like to see other things on my channel. You know, I started doing Counter-Strike, and I enjoy that game a lot. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below.